You're so associated with the talk box. Maybe how it came about and who turned you on to it and
Well, the first time I heard a sound like that was on the radio in England at night. We would listen to, because the radio was so limited in England, the one channel, and so they had a lot of power. And every fourth song would be something vaguely almost pop, but maybe not quite. So it was very difficult to hear anything American or blues or rock or jazz or anything. So there was this station called Radio Luxembourg, which had this call sign, and I believe the American stations used to use this gadget, and I can never remember the name of it, but it sounds like a talk box, and the call letters would be so that talk boxy sound. So
like a Sonovox maybe, or
that's it. Sonovox. That's right. Wow. Well done, man. Good. Elliot. Man. I can never remember that. Yeah, it was used on a lot of the radio stations here for those, because that's the only gadget they had, I think. And so I heard that, and then I heard Stevie Wonder's "Music of My Mind" record, which had it talk box from beginning to end through the he used it through the synthesizer, and was doing these background vocals and harmonies and effects with it. And I said, "That's that sound. That's that Sonovox sound." But I didn't know what Sonovox was, and so I thought they must be making something. So I started to find out about it, and then I was doing a session in London for George Harrison, actually, for All Things Must Pass, and George called me up and he said, "Pete, would you like to go and play some acoustic?" So. And so I said, "Yes." You don't turn down a Beatle. You know what I mean? So I'd met him just before that, and was invited into a studio and in London, and I just walked in, and he said, "Hello, Pete." I sort of looked behind me. I thought he was talking about Pete Townsend just walked in or something. Because I didn't think he would know who I was, So I was in Humble Pie, so I guess he was in the know, that man. So anyway, that began a friendship with him, and he invited me to play on that session he was doing, which was Doris Troy, his first album he was producing for the Apple label, called Ain't That Cute. And I ended up playing lead on that while he was playing rhythm, which was it's very surreal, actually, to be playing in the studio next to him. So when he then right after that, he was just about to do All Things Must Pass, and he called me up and asked me to Phil Spector wants a lot of acoustics, so there's me, George, and then three of Badfinger, all sitting in a row. There's the two drum kits, Ringo and Jim Gordon, and Gary Wright and Billy Preston. I mean, it's just two of everybody, and and there really wasn't that many instruments. There was just sort of doubles of them, and then we'd go into the control room and listen, and it was just sounded like 3,000 people. And Phil Spector would be going, "More echo, more echo." That's all he said, "more echo." So, so anyway, I've completely forgotten where we were.
The talk box, I'm sure it kicks in. It's coming, folks.
I'm old.
Great story. Are you kidding?
Do you want me to show you? Oh, yeah. No, Pete Drake was the pedal steel player on the country ones, the country tracks and I think Bob Dylan told George that would be the person to bring over from Nashville, and because he played on Nashville Skyline, and so he brought him over, and he set his gear up in front of me, and very nice man, and then there was a slow moment as they were changing 2-inch reels, and he got this little box out, much smaller than this, and put it up here, and then had a pipe, put it in his mouth, and plug something in here. And then the pedal steel started singing to me. And I almost, passed out. This was the sound in front of me now. I've been chasing this sound most of my life. And there's Pete Drake playing it to me, and he explained that Alvino Ray, I believe, was another pedal steel player in the dance band era, that he was the person that actually invented it. This idea of having the sound of the instrument coming through a tube into the mouth, and then you just mouth the words, and your diction creates the different sounds. And so there it was. And the talk box that he had there was the one he lent to Joe Walsh for Rocky Mountain Way. Nice. So that is one of a kind, So, and so then when I moved to the States in the end of 75, the beginning of 75. That's when Bob Heil gave me my first Heil talk box, and that's when I started. Do you want me to play some of it?
Absolutely, bring it on.
Here it is.
Hello, people. Here we are at the Guitar Center.
So, I think the first thing I did with it live was excuse me, with.
Do you feel like we do? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And then you can do. I'm biting the thing here. Everybody's got different techniques. I noticed on the Stevie Wonder's DVD, he sort of. It's his more open sound. He doesn't sort of. He just sort of puts his mouth over it.
Yes.
But then, if you I don't breathe though when I'm doing it. But if you can control by just closing your mouth. That's how I learned to enunciate with it. Give me a phrase to say. Someone give me a phrase to say. What, sorry? Happy birthday. Okay, another phrase. No.
Happy birthday to you.
So that didn't. I forget what syllable it is that's difficult, but during the Geico commercial was. I think we had to change a couple of lines on that.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, we spent all day doing that because she'd get it wrong and I get it right, and then I'd get it right and she'd crack up. So it was, and she is a real customer. And it's a real story. It's just not her kitchen. There's that one.
You show me the way I want you. Show me the way I want you.